Hi everyone. So firstly, when I'm about to create or write something MIDI in MIXCRAFT, I can either use MIXCRAFT on library or use EZdrummer. And the way to do that, we'll just click on this icon here, because this track is set out from as default to create piano or keys MIDI. If I'm gonna go ahead and use MIXCRAFT library, which is an okay one, I'm gonna use this heavy metal process kit. To create one sample is just double click on the track and start writing our little notes here. If we were to use this for another 4 bars, we can either drag it out and this will just copy, we'll just multiply the first one. However, if we do that, then anything that we might think of modifying down the line will occur on in the other ones as well. That's why you sometimes might just copy and paste it as such. If we want to lengthen the sample, let's say we've got a lengthier piece of music or a longer segment that we want to create from scratch, we can drag this loop end and our segment here just becomes longer, like that. And what we can do is actually copy paste these notes. Be sure to start from the bar. We have a longer one. We can still modify this segment by dragging it, shorten it, and these will appear gray, but they're still there if you want to use them. Now, because these won't sound that natural, what MIXCRAFT does, as well as other DAWs, it allows you to modify the velocities, modify the length of the notes. So for that we can use either these, or we can actually right click on the part of the instrument, let's say the kick drum, and select the notes. Notes are selected, then right click on the notes and go to MIDI editing and or note velocity to either assign a velocity for all of them, or MIDI editing to humanize them. And what this does is it will adjust the duration or the placement of the actual notes, as well as the velocities. We'll just randomize them. For this, we'll just we'll select the selection option, so it only applies this to our selected notes, and you can just choose to humanize them as much as you want. As you can see, our velocities are now changed. They're not the same. If we were to use EZdrummer, again on the keyboard icon, selecting our VST instrument, and we've got EZdrummer. And for us to, we might have different kits in our EZdrummer. To select one of them, we'll go into Edit, and we've got a drum kit from hell. And we've also got the EZdrummer modern, and we'll use the metal version of the kit. And what I'll do is I'll work with 2 tracks, and I can either add a virtual instrument track and follow the same steps of selecting my drum kit, or I might just duplicate the track. And if you go here, we've got the same settings. We've got the same kit load it up. Sometimes you might have a different kit, load it up, and it won't sound the same, and you'll be wondering why. So it's good to have to just duplicate the track, and then you know you've got the same bass. And to use this, EZdrummer's got a very nice drum sample library, and you might use it in a different way that I'm using it. Sometimes if I just want to have a backing track, I'll go to one of my favorite libraries, select the library, and this will only give you samples from that particular library in a particular genre, and we'll just go straight. I'll exclude the fills for some time and leave the rest as they are. Maybe just select the open hi-hat and just drag that sample like that, and we can work with it. We can either loop it, or we can extend it, or we can copy paste it, or we can extend it and cut, which is Control T. Like I said before, I might modify some of them, and I don't want the modifications to appear in any other samples than the ones I want. For example, this one. And sometimes I would want to fill at the end of it, and I would go back to my library and select the fill option, which gives me all the fills in that library for that genre, with a hi-hat open if I want, or toms and snare. Well, you get the idea. And most of the times I'll just unselect this one, so that will give me the fills, all of the fills that my library's got. And what I can do is just listen to one, drag it out. I'm using the second track because I can see what's happening up here, and I can just assign this or drag this to my liking, so the fill goes in exactly when I want it to be, and not just a default. Maybe I just want the segment from the fill to fill in a segment for the verse. So for example, I'll either cut it and drag it up here and cut these ones, and then just drag it up, or use the arrow. Sometimes when I drag it up, I'll drag it like that, but if I use the arrow, it's so much cleaner to just fit in there. And I'll play with them for a while, see what's best suited. Sometimes you might want to go into your fill and see what's happening there. You can see here the velocity is already humanized because EZdrummer is using actual drummers to perform the sequence, and they're usually already there. So I'm not going to modify anything in terms of offsets or starting points, again velocities, but you might want to add kick drums, you might want to modify a fill to your liking. Your song might have different tempos, which with similar parts but different tempos. So for that, what we need to do is just add a marker, and we can put in a title to the marker. Maybe we put second verse, and we've got the option to change the tempo. Let's say this one's 140, and from this point on the tempo is on 140, and we can obviously use samples that we used before or new ones, drag it or paste it, and they'll have a different tempo. To go back to that previous tempo, we'll just add another marker up here, add marker, tempo 120, boom. So we've got the original tempo. Now to export this MIDI file, sometimes I'll just leave it like that, and the exported version will be a merged version, so it won't be individual loops or samples, it will just be one long one. Sometimes you might want to merge it. Just select the area you want to merge, right click it and merge, and that's given us a longer sample. But if you want to export that as a MIDI file, what we'll do is just solo it so it doesn't touch any other MIDI tracks. Go to File and save as MIDI file. When saving MIDI file, you might want to add a date or a time and save it. Yes, and what your computer might want to do is play it back to you, but you don't want that. Exporting it as MP3, WAV and such, you can do that as well, but that will give you an audio file and not a MIDI file. Now, once you've saved the MIDI file, you can send it to one of your friends, to one of your bandmates, to load it into their DAWs, and if they're using EZdrummer, your settings and drums and instruments on it will work the same. If you're using MIXCRAFT's library, that might differ. I've done that before, and well, because I was using splashes and stuff that MIXCRAFT had in his library and EZdrummer hadn't, it didn't work the same. So EZdrummer would try to replace splash with a crash. So make sure you're both working in the same or with the same libraries or with the same plugin. If that makes sense. I hope this was helpful. Take care, everyone.